So, why should we care of Yin Yoga?
Well, you shouldn't, but this practice it can actually bring you some benefits maybe you even didn't know about. For example, you can work through emotions and to integrate, process, and release them, for example. This is one thing, and then you can receive many benefits for your physical body. And if you do this practice maybe even once, you would immediately realize that before you've been doing only half of your asana practice.
So, what is Yin Yoga?
Okay, in yoga, as they call it, it's a complementary practice for Yang Yoga, or also they call it yoga for joints. But again, these answers may be not self-explanatory because, for example, students may not know what is Yang Yoga exactly. And another question which may be arised is that isn't all yoga is doing good for our joints, right? So these two answers again bring more questions, and to answer fully what is Yin Yoga, we must to go back in time a little bit to dig into Eastern philosophy and come back again to 21st century through the history of yoga a little bit.
And how did you discover this practice?
For me, I stumbled upon this practice when I was in a period of my own personal crisis in Copenhagen. And yeah, I would say that again, this practice helped me to cope with emotions such as depression, apathy, and anxiety. Anxiety maybe now, but depression and apathy that time before. So again, this practice can help you to transcend these emotions and to experience these emotions fully. And what do I mean by experiencing fully depression and what and apathy? Yeah, because people normally they try to avoid them, but for example, Carl Jung was calling a depression a creative state, actually, and I would agree with that because in depression, if you allow yourself to surrender and hit the bottom, then again you can discover creative powers inside yourself, the powers which you maybe even didn't realize that these powers exist. Yeah. So you tap into some source of energy, inspiration, whatever inside of you. And yeah, so this is one thing that you can do if you explore this practice. And this what happened to me again. And the key here is surrender, and surrender, and to to fall and touch the bottom is the great metaphor describing Yin Yoga, because in Yin Yoga we are trying not to do any physical work, but let the gravity to do the work when we are doing our asanas. So yeah, this is how I discovered it.
And how can you describe the goal of Yin Yoga? Does it have a goal?
I think it has same goals as any other school of yoga, but it is targeting a different layers in our body.
Targeting, how can I understand this more clear?
You focused because, for example, if in Hatha yoga you would be focused on your muscles, then in Yin yoga you would rather be focused on your ligaments, tendons, and so on. And it's well, again, we need to go back in time and to rediscover what is the goal of any yoga. And there are many documents upon yoga. And if we read these books, we would understand that it's a complementary text and like a notes. And the main core of knowledge is the guidance of guru. So guidance is required. And another thing that we can understand, the goal of yoga was to prepare someone for state of meditation, which is altered state of consciousness. And in our time, when we are focused more on external part, extrovertive part, we are focused more how do we look like on our bodies, and in this journey we forget about other part of yoga, which is actually an inner journey of self-discovery, of meditation, and so we forget about that, and Yin yoga is focused more on these aspects of yoga, like inner and meditative states.
So what about emotions? Does it help us to deal with them, with different kinds of how?
Yeah, I would say that because in Yin yoga, again, we are dealing with deeper tissues in our bodies, like our fascia. It's a tissue which covers our whole body, but in the context of depth, it's a deeper layer of our body than our muscles. And in my understanding, again, because our body actually stores, our memory, our negative experiences, and because of that, when we are dealing with these tissues, we are dealing with deep emotional layers and deep emotional aspects with which we are with which we do not want to deal, in our daily life. We're trying to avoid them, and digging them deeper, like our traumas and, these kind of things.
Like this, it's influencing on these deeper layers of tissues of our body, influence on our deeper emotional states. Unconscious ones, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So again, because of that, some things hidden during this practice, they come upon our attention, which we wouldn't expect, and we can experience like emotional release, and feeling some energies. And I mean, it's not bad, it's just okay, and you have to to understand that this can happen.
Yeah, and if we cannot understand this, what does it go from us? I mean, even though we cannot understand them.
Yeah.
And does Yin Yoga restorative practice?
No, it can be actually very challenging and in other way, but still challenging, but it's not restorative practice. So if you have any physical traumas, you need to rest and let your body recover before
First.
doing the practice. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not restorative practice.
Maybe it's because it opens our joints faster or deeper, or
Yeah.
how?
Because again we are dealing with the stress, so we are stressing our joints in Yin Yoga a lot. So it is like a physical practice. So yeah, before attempting to do the stresses, you need to recover first.
Yeah, because if our body not in the normal state, it should be go more unnormal.
Yes, you can do damage. If you already have damage, you can make it worse.
And what are Yin and Yang?
Yin and Yang, they are relative terms from Taoist tradition of knowledge, and they must be always understood in context. So, for example,
In Yin Yoga context.
I will describe now general context, and we will go to Yin Yoga context. So, for example, if you look up, you can see some things which are high, and if you look low, you will see some things are low. Yeah. If you hear outside, there are a lot of external noises. But if you close your eyes and shift your attention inward, you would, bring your attention to some closer things. So, things are far and things are close, things are high and down, and all our life, it consists of these aspects. But they only make sense in contrast, to one another. Without this contrast, we cannot understand them. So these are patterns, and from these patterns consist all our life. And so, for example, Yin is generally it's more denser, more feminine, more dark kind of things, while Yang is higher, lighter, brighter, and Yang is masculine and Yin is feminine, and so on. And we can use like many different contexts. So in again, in context of yoga, we can say that Yang Yoga is yoga for muscles, and Yin Yoga is yoga for joints.
So muscles and joints in this meaning is opposites.
Yeah.
Like opposites.
Yeah.
Like high, okay.
So muscles, again, they also do have a little bit of, they are Yang, but they have a little bit of Yin inside them. And
nice, yeah.
Because muscles, for example, they are wet and love to get juicy, and this is Yin quality. While ligaments, they are dry, and this is Yang quality. But despite of this, we still can call that muscles, they have more Yang element in them, and ligaments, they have more Yin elements in them. So this is the main difference of Yang and Yin yoga, because they target different groups, in our physical body.
And does balance mean stillness?
Yeah, I would need to say what is balance first. So in Taoist tradition, health was deemed to be a balance. And what does it mean? So for them, the then two contrasting aspects like yin and yang are in balance. That's mean health for Taoists. And the middle point of this balance was called Tao, center of all things, and it's balancing these contrasting aspects. But balance is not a stillness, because life is always moving, changing, and it's rather than balance, it would be rather like oscillation of this point of Tao, yeah. So we always
Moving around Tao?
Yeah, around this point.
So when we feel this stillness or Tao on the practice, does it call to feel it or live in it, or it's integration of feeling and living?
Well, I think to feel it like always, it's like to be like Shiva sitting in eternal meditation, but because we are living in a physical world and life itself, you know, the moving time is moving and the matter is changing all the times, we cannot be all the time in balance, because season changing, day and night it's changing, everything changing, and we need to act and we need to react. Yeah, at the night you need to sleep, during the day you need to work, yeah, if you want to keep the balance. But sometimes we do opposite, sometimes we do not sleep at night, so the balance is destroyed, so you need to recover somehow, you know. So and you're trying to get close to this point, you know, but still you cannot like get there, because you need to live, you need to act, you need to do something. And
yeah, so Yin Yoga call it to balance this Yang style of life.
Yeah.
Work, moving,
exactly.
every time.
Because now, especially in the Western world, people work 16 hours a day, full year around, even without any vacation, which is like very young style of life. And the nature seeks balance, right? Because it's always balancing itself, and if we are not seek this balance, yeah, by ourselves, it imposes, you know, balance to us, like external force. For example, if you work a lot, maybe a headache and migraine would be that, or heart attack, whatever, would be your balancing force to lie down, stop and rest, you know. So these kind of things. Yeah, and exactly. So Yin Yoga is this force, this practice which we can apply consciously on this type of lifestyle. And also, again, if we do practice, if we do a physical practice, yoga practice, fitness practice, whatever, it again would be, because normally it's a yang practice, yeah, like
Yeah.
strength, flexibility, whatever,
Marathons.
yeah, marathons, yeah, a lot of stuff, and this would be this balancing practice for any hard and how to say hard-working fitness routine, right?
Mm-hmm. And who discovered Yin and Yang?
So it was discovered by ancient Chinese Taoists. They observed it in, again, the patterns of nature, like day, light and shadow, day and night, and so on.
Moon and Sun.
Moon and sun, yeah, and still we can see these aspects like everywhere in our modern time.
You mean synonyms, analogies in other religions?
Yeah. For example, we have in Hatha Yoga, we have Ida and Pingala, so it's moon and sun channel, right? And in science, medical science, we would have sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, which always work like antagonists, one against the other, and homeostasis, it's called this balance, because homeostasis, it means health when these two systems equal. But we, when we again living this very young routine, we overdrive our sympathetic system, right? So it always think that because it was designed in our bodies to cope with like very real stress, like tiger can attack you or whatever, or you, like you, it's activate this response, either fight or either run, yeah, flight or fight response, and it was designed for survival. But we don't have these stresses anymore, but we do have like other stresses in our culture, yeah, in our in our imaginations, and this system, it always go overdrive, and it's not
in the survival mode.
Yeah. So we really overdrive our body because it brings a lot of consequences, right?
And how we can apply these yin and yang forces in our bodies?
So Chinese, they call it either deficiency or excess. So we can, because again, yin and yang, they're not good and bad, they're just different. And we can have excess of yang, or we have deficiency of yang. So too many of any of these aspects is as dangerous as too less, right?
Balance also.
So yeah, they always need to be in balance. So for example, if we lie on the couch like every day 8 hours per day and 360 days per year, maybe we have yin excess, right? So a little bit of vinyasa ashtanga yoga will not do any harm, right?
Yeah.
And but if we do work 16 hours a day, and even if we do go to a gym 7 days per week, yeah, for a 2 hours workout, it's a lot of yang energy, and maybe you can, at some point, you can break one of your system, and it can lead to the dangerous consequences. So the yin practice is just this force, slow, meditative, nourishing, grounding, force which we can apply. So it's not only rest, but as yoga teaches us, in the stillness, the meditative state can arise. So you have like win-win situation. You are allowing yourself to rest, and even you can tap into some insights, ideas, and discover things that you didn't expect to discover. It's very inspiring.
Давай соберемся, Никита. Это было нормально все, да? Хорошо.
Все нормально.
And what are the yin and yang tissues?
So the yin tissues are our bones, ligaments, and tendons, while our yang tissues are our muscles, blood, and our skin, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, we can apply different context again. So, for example, in context of density, muscles are elastic and they love to get juicy, while the bones are plastic and they are relatively dry. Yeah. So
to the joints which strong, we apply yin practice which water kind. Yes.
Yeah. So for different kind of tissues, we need to different kind of practice, right? For example, yang practice, it's practice which designed to target the muscles, and muscles being elastic, they like to be rhythmically and repetitively stressed and stretched, while this kind of practice, yang practice applied for joints, it could damage them, right? For example, if you bend a credit card 108 times every morning, yeah, it would not last a lot of morning for it to break, yeah. So because the credit card is plastic, yeah. And it doesn't like this kind of movements, but for muscles it's good. But so yin tissues which are being more plastic, they like stresses which are more gentle but held for a longer periods of time. Mm-hmm. So this would be a yin kind of practice which we use.
And any examples?
So if you were wearing orthodontic braces, you would know that they applied with not big but still not comfortable amount of pressure, and this is like right pressure for bones of jaw to reshape themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. And yin yoga is called to exercise the joints.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we can do this, exercise the joints?
Yeah, so you can imagine a joint as a simply space between your bones, yes, to allow the bones to move. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the function of the joint. and muscles, they build on top of your bones and joints. And so one of the job of the muscle is to like move the bones, yeah. But other thing what they do is they are protecting the joint. So if you stress your hand, so if you stress it too much, your muscle will be damaged first, and then after this your ligaments, and after only your joints. So muscle is protecting the joint. But then muscles are relaxed, we can actually access this area and stress the joint. And why would we do this? Yeah, because like some people, they think that it's not required, right? And I was thinking like this again before. So because again, if we have like some troubles with some of our joints, right? If we cannot sit in Padmasana or split or whatever, it means that our joints cannot move freely, yeah? So something happened to them. Again, like minerals or whatever, or like from psychosomatic or like negative experience or negative karma, yeah? For whatever reason, our joint cannot move freely. And from the perspective, for example, of Chinese medicine, it's a blocked energy again. So Yin Yoga allows to exercise this area for joint to open fully, yeah, and function properly. So again, it could be like why we do this, and energy can be blocked from the Chinese point of view, and like some minerals or whatever living there and not allow the joint to move. So we like consciously targeting, exercising these areas through Yin Yoga practice.
Any examples?
Example, I remembered another thing that we have research from NASA that astronauts, they are losing their because they don't have the gravity force in the space, and they cannot their joints, they don't receive any stress, and they losing, I think, up to 21% of their bone mass per year, which is a lot. And stressing our joints, actually we are building our bone cells and tissues. So we are not losing our bone mass, our structure, but we are gaining it, or like keeping it in
stress.
Stress allows it to grow. Actually.
Yeah, I heard.
Stress allows our bones to grow.
It's maybe similar process when we stress in our skin on face, for example, doing massage, gua sha. Our skin become producing collagen.
Yes, so collagen is this building. Maybe it's the same process, because it's a building blocks, yeah, for cells and for bones, yeah, for muscles.
What about health professionals? What do they think about these exercises in yoga exercise?
Yeah, that drives them nuts and makes them crazy. because again they misinterpret the exercise as Yang exercise. So they think of these rhythmic repetitive movements, but again, as we understood, there is a different form of exercise which is applied for yin tissues, yin type of stress, yeah, which is gentle and held over long periods of time.
And what is origin of Yin Yoga?
Well, it's interesting question because we need to answer first what is origin of any yoga, right? And in Vedas, for example, during the Vedic period of time, yoga practice was not considered as psycho-spiritual practice. It was rather the discipline practice. And the closest mention of asana which we have there was asundi. It's a block on which you can sit comfortably. And at the time then Yoga Sutra was compiled. Yoga was already the psycho-spiritual practice aimed for liberation, realization, realization and liberation, yeah, would be correct. Liberation, moksha, right? And some schools, yoga schools, they would say that meditation and liberation is the main goal, because we need. They would say that we need to live. So they would say that we need to start to meditating as soon as possible to leave our body as soon as possible. But other non-dualistic schools would say that as soon as we have this body and we can do yoga and meditate in this body, we should do it here as much as possible, and that's why we do need a strong body. So, and then the Yoga Sutra was compiled. The word asana mentioned only twice during the 196 aphorism, and all that it was said about the asana was that it should be steady and comfortable, sthira and sukham, yeah. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot more about different.
So it was only one asana, you mean?
The word. Mm-hmm. Word asana was mentioned in Yoga Sutra only twice. Mm-hmm. And it was said that asana should be steady and comfortable, sthira and sukham. It's everything that was said about asana in Yoga Sutra. Mm-hmm. And then Hatha Yoga Pradipika was compiled in 14th and 15th century by Swami Svatmarama. He already mentions about 15 asanas, and 13 of them are seated positions, and which are like very much yin quality, steady, and 2 of them are like peacock. They have a lot of yang element in them, right? But 13 of 15 asanas, they were yin in quality. And the goal of Hatha Yoga was to prepare like a strong diamond body, as they would say, to prepare someone for a long practice of meditation. Because what Hatha Yoga is saying, that as soon as you master, I don't know who is there, as soon as you would master Siddhasana, then other asanas are useless. right? So the goal of Hatha Yoga was to prepare someone to sit in meditation in Siddhasana for long hours. And
Hatha Yoga already appeared, because I was thinking that Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it's first.
no, before was Yoga Sutra by Patanjali, and I think Yoga Sutra Patanjali is 9th century, and Hatha Yoga Pradipika is 14th, 15th century.
So what is about this text? What is about Hatha Yoga Pradipika?
We are going through this text to answer the question, what is the origin of Yin Yoga and how it was invented. But before answering that, we need to touch these documents, because there are many documents describing yoga. Yoga Sutra, one of them. Hatha Yoga Pradipika is another. Kiranda Samhita is the next one, which we know, and this document was compiled at the time of British Raj. It's a so-called time then the British Empire captured India, and the yoga schools, they merged with gymnasiums, and yoga practice was merged with sports, wrestling, and these kind of things. And in Giranda Samhita, among the 32 asanas, there are only 1/3 of yin asanas and 2/3 of yang asanas, which are focused on strength and flexibility. So we can see that the trend has begun to make like this strong and strong physical body, which is not bad. It just like what happened. And Krishnamacharya was saying that he knew 3,000 asanas, and his guru knew 8,000 asanas. So a lot. And at the time of 20th century, then Iyengar published his Lights on Yoga. He mentions few asanas like Virasana, which must be held for 15 minutes. So this is the moment again for these documents when the guidance of guru is required, yeah, for how long we should keep these asanas.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can see that
And who invented Yin Yoga?
so some people like Paul Greeley and Bernie Clark, they made this very popular, and they brought our attention to the point that because they merged the yoga practice with Chinese tradition, so through the concept of Tao, this part of meditative.
So Yin Yoga called to help us to move in balance in our life, not to stop in the last point of Tao and yeah, departure, bye-bye, but moving, because life is moving. It's a substantial truth.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's through this practice we can discover, we can understand that through this practice that there is a balance, and through this practice we can understand what to do with it. Yeah. So this practice, it's like teaches you about this aspect of life.
So if we lived in the world of the Yin world, yes, where everybody's sitting and meditating and moving slow, and so maybe we've been speaking about Yin Yoga.
Yeah, exactly. But now we are living in a very fast time. Everything is changes very. So I remember then during our yoga teacher training on Bali, it often asked me what is balance, and I couldn't answer this question that time, and I couldn't answer it to myself for a long time until I discovered the Yin Yoga. Again, I would not say that I can answer it now, but the thing is that for sure Yin Yoga teaches you that you have that awareness that there is a balance. There are like aspects in our life which you need to balance. And second thing, it allows you to understand in a way, in your way, what this balance means for you practically. So this kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's everything experience, personal experience.
Yeah.
And what do you think the fun meant? He asked you directly or class? I don't remember.
Everyone.
Everyone.
No, he asked, we were somewhere, I don't remember, but he asked to like everyone go in different direction. I was thinking about what is balance.
It was a play. It was a play, go everyone in different direction. In Shala, yes? Just move.
Around the Shala even.
And everybody was moving.
Yeah.
No. I don't remember. And think about what is balance.
Yeah, everybody was going around and looking for balance.
Okay, so he know actually what is balance, because balance is moving. It's not stillness.
It's not static act.
It's not static. It's something that you understand when you're moving. And balancing every time.
Maybe it's not movement, but for sure it's not a static act.